WWE games from the early 2000s. Back then they were known as the WWF, and they released games in an arcade style with fast gameplay. Today we're going to be throwing it back and looking at one of these on the Dreamcast. This is WWF Royal Rumble, released in late 2000 for both the Dreamcast and as an arcade cabinet, not to be confused with the 1993 release of the same name, but that was released on the SNES. The Dreamcast version is a direct port on what you saw in arcades. It was developed by Yuke's, the studio behind the SmackDown series, published by THQ in North America and Europe, and Sega for its arcade release. WWF Royal Rumble was quite limited in terms of a game. You had Exhibition Mode and the Royal Rumble itself, and that's it in terms of match types. There was 19 base game superstars for you to choose from, with 2 more being unlockable through either a certain number of consecutive wins in Exhibition or by winning the Royal Rumble itself, these unlockables being Shane and Vince McMahon. That still only took the total playable characters to 21. A standard Royal Rumble is 30 participants, so you will see some people enter the match more than once. The in-game options gives you the ability to increase this to either 60 or 90 participants, but of course that will mean more repeat entries. The action is very fast paced, and it does see 9 people in the ring at once, which was the highest number ever seen in a WWE game. This game mode does differ to a standard Royal Rumble though. You've got a 3-minute time limit to win the match, but this time will increase the more you eliminate people. If the CPU makes an elimination, you don't get the credit for it, and neither do you get the time bonus. Eliminations can happen rather quick, however, due to the number of people in the ring, targeting can sometimes be an issue. Your selected character will at times try to grab thin air. Exhibition mode, on the other hand, is more of a gauntlet mode. You select a superstar and a partner, with the partner standing outside of the ring. You can't tag them in, but they can interfere in one of 3 ways: throw you a weapon or run in and perform a double team move, or their finisher. Win this singles match and you progress to the next match, with the difficulty increasing on a match by match basis. But the opponents you face along the way can be random, and they aren't necessarily based on stats or main event status. No matter which mode you choose to play, each match can last around 2 to 3 minutes, sometimes even less. If they do go longer, a number of other superstars will interfere in your match and just cause chaos. There's ways that you can actually take advantage of the game's mechanics. Knock the referee down and you'll get 10 to 15 seconds where anything goes, even though anything goes regardless. You'll also be able to spam double team moves, use illegal moves and any weapon that you want. But this isn't the only way to gain an upper hand. If you hold block and press the D-pad in circles, you'll automatically evade every punch or grapple. Do this in a singles match, or utilise it if it looks like you're getting eliminated from the Royal Rumble itself to stay in the match. WWF Royal Rumble does share similarities to WWF SmackDown 2 Know Your Role, which was released in the same year. However, it does seem a lot more stripped back and more frantic. You're limited to one arena, the Royal Rumble arena. However, there are backstage areas that you can go to. To get there though, you'll need to get teleported randomly throughout a match. You're then dumped into one of the many backstage areas where the match will continue. Or, alternatively, a steel cage will spawn around the ring. Controls wise, you'll be using the D-pad only for movement, and a 3-button system to perform moves and combos. It's really simplistic, which does relate to similar games of the time. The only issue with this, as I mentioned earlier, is the targeting. Sometimes the game will think you're targeting somebody different, or won't grab the person that you're targeting at all. Graphically though, while not great compared to modern day standards, it's okay for an early 2000s game. The characters, while their faces and hair look like it's stuck on in places, you can still tell who each person is meant to be, even if the details aren't quite there. Each superstar also has some alternate attires, and you'll see these when they re-enter the Royal Rumble. Critically, the game received mixed reviews. It scored 66 out of 100 from video game aggregator Metacritic, where they said it was a fun and faithful arcade translation. However, its downfall was because of its paper-thin roster and what they called mode drought. Here's what I think. I do agree with Metacritic's summary. If you wanted to play a game like this, you'd be better off playing WWF SmackDown 2. There's a bigger roster, and there's more match types available. The gameplay is also pretty similar, so you're not missing out by much. On the flip side, it's meant for arcades more than anything, so its limited controls and simplistic nature means that it is meant to be played over a short time and not a long gaming session. So that was WWF Royal Rumble. Is this a game that you played in the past, and if it was, what were your thoughts on it? Drop them in the comments below, and if you do like looking back at other video games from the past, there's one dropping on this channel every week.